what's up, Ralph? Good to have you back. Ricky, you guys are worse than Adam Schiff switching stories. You guys are gonna stay? You two? Should we have somebody else take your spot? Oh, I'm just messing. All right. You guys do a fine job. Please, by the two-stroke gods, start. I give up.
You don't understand because you don't understand liberty. You don't understand freedom. So you put a crack in my arm like the crack in the Liberty Bell. You hear me?
Why do you want me to break your arm so badly?
Nope. Break it, Pepe Le Pew!
You are now mocking me and making me look ridiculous.
Absolutely. We're going to do that.
I have come here to defeat you.
Formula One jazz nut job!
Like the frightened baby chipmunk, you are scared by anything that is different.
Oh, geez. Enough kidding around. I just thought it was funny they were trying to make this big, oh gosh, this never happens. There's a rivalry in Supercross, which, you know, in a roundabout way, we need more of it. It needs to be more of a spectacle. So, take it for what it's worth. So before I go into my analysis on the track, I thought this section, the double after the finish line, was completely one line. Actually, the majority of the track felt really one line. The sand section, I actually liked the option there. But then across the start, it just seemed follow the leader. The track, in my opinion, was also very bewildering fast. Here's this section, come in hauling butt. There's really no outside to it. The rhythm lengths were fairly long, which didn't help the passing much. You could have a little bit different lines, but then you have another 90, which really no outside to. And then here's another semi 90 that is always on the inside. Then you had an extremely long whoop section that I told my buddies watching the race that because of how long it is, we're going to see riders crash at the end of it. Reason being is the whoop section is extraordinarily long compared to previous races. So these riders are gaining speed towards the end. And because of the speed that they're gaining, they actually have to slow down in the whoop section. And they can't let off the throttle because they'll drop the front end. So you'll actually see them move their feet and start tapping the rear brake to slow it down. But as soon as you start locking the brakes, the suspension is also going to lock and it's going to rebound. It's not going to move through the stroke. And you'll see at the end of the whoop section, most of the crashes happen there because the riders couldn't shave their speed so that they can make the corner. Not to mention, the whoop section is the only part of the track that doesn't get touched up between races. And the 250 guys are racing double the duration because of this Triple Crown series, and the 450 guys are darn near double. They're about 80%. So there's just 44 of the best riders in Supercross. Tearing up the whoop section is going to make one of the most treacherous obstacles on the track that much more dangerous. Moving on to the nonsensical, just sheer deranged start that was longer than most people's stretch marks. It sounds like a great idea. Let's have 22 of the best Supercross racers go 60 miles an hour straight into the concrete wall. No pun intended. We all know I did that. No! And let me just move on. Ken Roczen is a prime example of the self-efficiency mindset. It's the belief in one's own ability to complete tasks and reach their goals. It's also the people that have the mindset that believe they can succeed and create pathways to greater success. He's not one to have a fixed mindset that says, I was born with just these innate abilities and I'll never have more depth and growth in those abilities. This guy's been through the ringer before and he's come back, and he might actually have this be one of his greatest years of all time. And he went 1-1-1. How can you argue with that? And if you haven't noticed, I'm just jumping all over. The race, in my opinion, wasn't the most exciting because I thought the track could have been better built, and it was just dangerous. We saw a lot of crashes and incidents. Austin Forkner, in my own opinion, he's living proof that what Adam Cincerillo did set the standard for these young athletes, these young riders, that you have to be a factory rider on 65s, ride with all the big pros, become more or less a household name before you even turn pro. It's turning into MotoGP, Formula One, where just money is king, and it bums me out because I remember the stories my father told me of back in the 70s. You could get a bike, you're talented, then you can start running top 10, top 20 at nationals, and there's not this huge spectacle, and not to mention just all the politics about it's who you know. And I completely understand that in order for this sport to stay around, it has to innovate, it has to grow. We have to have the corporations lending the money. If you know anything about my videos, you know that I'm a huge advocate for the pay increase for these riders. This sport is making money for very few. Feld Motorsports, the people that rent out the stadiums, the sheer ticket sales that we're making, but we're sort of in a negative amortization of the industry itself, where these factory teams are just spilling hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they're not making it back. So the people that are owning the entity of Supercross are loading their pockets, but anyone involved in Supercross is becoming poor. Hence why, in a roundabout way, I think more riders are making the choice to do whatever it takes to win. We're seeing more crashes. Could we argue it's the tracks, the formats, the money behind, the pressure?
In 2011, an anonymous survey asked more than 1,200 athletes whether they'd used performance-enhancing drugs. The result, which was kept quiet for 6 years, was astonishing. 44% admitted to doping. But typically, only 1 to 2% of samples test positive.
And holy crap, I have no idea where my head's at. I'm digressing emphatically. So, in closing, AC has been the fastest qualifier 4 weekends in a row. What does this guy have to do to get that W? So let me know in the comments below. And man, it's only 7 minutes, 30 seconds. Could go on for a while. Sit tight for more videos, and I'll be a little bit more scripted next time. Until next time. I've already said that. Oh man, here we go again. I'm over it. I'm done with it. Just click the next video. The thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm out. Brop!